Hi everyone. Is there someone who still doesn't know me at this point? Do I have to introduce myself? Anyway, let me introduce myself for my new followers, my new subscribers. I don't know who is watching. So if you're new here, my name is Melly Albrecht. Albrecht is an ex-anxiety sufferer who uses her own experience of suffering and recovery to help others who are still struggling. If you have been in sensitization for a while, or you're struggling with any type of anxiety disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, health anxiety, OCD, depression, panic disorder, agoraphobia, any type of anxiety disorder, you are in the right place. In this channel, we talk about everything anxiety and how to be able to overcome these anxiety disorders. Otherwise, if you have not yet subscribed yet, I would urge you to watch this video up to the end. If you feel like this video is valuable and you want to see more of this content on your timeline, kindly hit that subscription button. Otherwise, let's get this video started. And I want to start this video by, if you have been following me on, you have been listening to these videos, you have been following me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, you realize I always talk about the nervous system. You are having a dysregulated nervous system. These symptoms are symptoms of a sensitized nervous system. Regulate your nervous system. And you are always asking yourself, what is this nervous system that Albrecht keeps on talking about? Some people don't know, okay, they hear me talk about the nervous system, sensitized nerves, but they don't know what sensitized nerves are. So first of all, let me first tell you what is a nervous system. Think of a nervous system like your brain's command center. It is your body communication network. It is the one that determines how you see reality. Your nervous system is the one that signals you that you are safe in this place. That means you are in the rest and digest, or you need to flee away from this situation, or there is a threat, and it determines how you are gonna respond to this threat. Now, when you respond, when there is threat around, your body is gonna respond. It's gonna respond with the heart palpitations, the dizziness, the chest pain, all those symptoms of stress. So the nervous system is your brain's command center. It is your body's communication network. It is the one that determines your reality, how you respond. You either fight that threat or flee away from that threat, or you are just generally safe, and therefore you are in the rest and digest state of your body. So what I mean when I say that those symptoms are a result of your sensitized nervous system is because something happened. A traumatic life event happened, you had this stressful life situation, you stayed in that particular period of stress for a long time. Our nervous system has a stress threshold. It can only take a certain amount of stress, and stresses are all over. Relationship stress, work stress, your spouse stress, stresses are all over. So your body and brain could not take that amount of stress that you put it through, and therefore it became sensitized. Now you started having the physical symptoms, the panic attacks, the feelings of unreality, the intrusive thoughts. For someone else, they just woke up and started having this, they started feeling these symptoms of anxiety. It is not like nothing happened. It's that they had anxious energy within. Things were happening in the past, and they kept on keeping that anxious energy within, and it blew up on them. They started experiencing feelings of anxiety. For someone else, it is marijuana. For someone else, they had a panic attack. They were afraid of getting another panic attack. They treated themselves as fragile, and boom, they were in the disordered cycle of anxiety. So our nervous system can only take a certain amount of stress. It is like a cup. When it's a cup, like, you can only put a certain amount of water inside. If you put too much water, it can't hold. It will start overflowing. The same with your nervous system. It said, you know what, Henry, Mary, I can't take this amount of stress, and our body reacts to stress, so much overwhelming stress, with anxiety. So up to this point, I hope you understand how your nervous system is playing, is the one, your sensitized nervous system is the one responsible for you having these symptoms. And let me tell you something, guys. Something happened, I don't know, as a stressful life event happened, you develop a panic attack, you didn't know better, you reacted, and now you are stuck in this disordered loop of anxiety. Being stuck in the disordered loop of anxiety, it is you keeping yourself there. Probably that's what you don't want to hear, but it is you keeping yourself stuck in the disordered cycle of anxiety by how you resist what is, by how you are not allowing your symptoms to be there, by how you are reacting, by how you are adding second fears. A lot of people are stuck in the disordered cycle of anxiety because of their resistance to what is. It is a loop that only you can break. It is a loop that your nervous system is already sensitized. It is bringing you all these symptoms, the feelings of unreality, the painful emotions that feel so overwhelming. And let's just be sincere. Those feelings of anxiety are not fun. They are scary. They are debilitating. They like suck. So you want them gone. But the irony, the paradox of anxiety is that that thing that you're doing to try and stop anxiety, that you're doing to try and make it go away, is the same reason why you have been stuck in that state for years, for months. It is what you're doing. The resistance of what is what is keeping you stuck with anxiety. One thing that I always, if you watch most of my videos, I always say, first of all, educate yourself on what is happening. When you understand what is happening, the fear is lowered down. So even when you're trying to, even when you're accepting these symptoms, you already know, like, you at a state of, okay, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole. I'm not gonna sink deeper, because already I understand what is happening. I understand why I'm having these feelings of unreality. I know how I am supposed to respond to these symptoms of anxiety. One mistake, when you have followed me for a long time, probably you have heard the word acceptance. One mistake that most anxiety sufferers commit is that they use acceptance as a tool, as another tool, like the breathing techniques, like the medication, like meditation, like the yoga, like the therapy. I tried all of those things, and I want to tell you something, that all those tools that you're doing to try and feel better, that you're doing to try and stop anxiety, you are signaling the brain that there is a threat. And when the brain senses that there is a threat, it keeps your nervous system in a state of high alert. That's why you can't calm down. A lot of people ask, this video specifically is about how to calm down your nervous system. And the tools to calm down your nervous system, it is not about doing something, when we say, you need to, the way to overcome anxiety is to regulate your nervous system, is to calm down your nervous system. It feels like you need to do something. It feels like you need to do meditation, you need to take medication, you need to practice yoga, talk therapy, supplements. It is not something to do. Actually, calming the nervous system is about doing nothing. Your nervous system will calm down on its own when you stop practicing those tools that you're practicing to try and calm it down. With anxiety, you'll notice that anytime you try and calm down, that's the more you are not calming down. Every time you try and sleep, you're having all these things to sleep. You're not gonna sleep, because nervous system calms down on its own. You don't need to do anything. It will calm down on its own. And how is it gonna calm down on its own? First of all, educate yourself on whatever is happening. Acceptance is a state. It is not a tool to use to make anxiety go away. It is a practice to calm down your nervous system. When I say acceptance, it doesn't mean, like, people use acceptance as another tool. Okay, let me accept. Okay, I've accepted for 3 weeks. These symptoms are not going away. You're doing the wrong thing. In fact, now just let go of, accept it, because you're doing the wrong thing. Acceptance is more like an attitude, making peace with your intrusive thoughts, making peace with your symptoms. And as a result, your nervous system is gonna calm down as a consequence when you make peace. What is making your nervous system in a state of high alert is, of course, you want that inner peace. Of course, you want this calm, but you are forcing your way through it. Your body can feel that push. It can feel that force, and your brain detects, okay, there is danger, because what is this? What is Henry trying to run away from? What is Mary trying to run away from? And this keeps your nervous system in a state of high alert, because you don't want to accept your current state. You're running away from your current. Stop running away. It is what is keeping your nervous system in a state of high alert. Stop resisting. It is what is keeping your nervous system in a state of high alert. One of the mantras that helped me when I was recovering from anxiety is, it is what it is. It is what it is. I am not calming. I can't calm down. That's how it is. I'm feeling these heart palpitations. I'm gonna let them be. It is what it is. I'm feeling this disease, because me fighting, me resisting was a force. And this pressure, it is pressure. This pressure that I'm putting adds pressure to my already sensitized nerves. Now tell me how I'm gonna calm down if I'm applying pressure, if I'm resisting if I'm forcing my way to inner peace. The best way to find peace is by not trying to seek it. Just be. Let everything flow. Ride the wave, and the peace is gonna come to you. Calming down your nerves will happen as a result of accepting what is without resisting and living your life. It doesn't happen with the tools. Those tools are only keeping your nervous system in a state of high alert. And take it from me, those tools will never work. They are never gonna work. I tried everything. I tried all those things. I was in the anxiety cycle for 6 years. There is nothing that I didn't try. They are the ones keeping you stuck with anxiety, because to your brain, that signals danger and keeps your nervous system in a state of high alert. Just learn to respond properly instead of reacting. What is this? I need to stop this. Okay, when will this ever stop? Those are the things that are keeping you stuck with the anxiety cycle. You're the one keeping yourself in the anxiety cycle. Learn to respond instead of reacting. If you have watched this video up to this end, make sure to like this video, a thumbs up for this video, comment down below anything that you like me to talk about, subscribe to this video. It helps the channel grow, and also share this video to any other person out there who may need it. If you want to work one-on-one with me, use this WhatsApp or this email to reach out to me. I help people overcome anxiety disorders permanently. You don't have to figure this out on your own. I took some time, a long period of time, to recover, because I was figuring out everything on my own. No one was pointing out my resistance. No one was telling me where I was stuck with my anxiety. So if you don't want to figure out everything on your own, you feel like you need to collapse time, anxiety has wasted your time, and you need to let go of the anxiety subject, use this WhatsApp or this email to reach out to me. Otherwise, let's meet on the next video. Bye.